Hello and welcome to CardioEd. In this episode of CardioEd, we'll be talking about revascularization in non-ST segment elevation acute coronary syndrome. But before that, if you are coming to our channel for the first time, we regularly discuss the various issues in cardiovascular imaging, cardiovascular interventions, cardiac imaging, general cardiology. We talk about recent advances in cardiology. We talk about basic concepts in the various subspecialties of cardiology. And you can consider subscribing. Now coming to the recommendations. So in patients with non-ST segment elevation acute coronary syndrome who are at increased risk of recurrent ischemic events and are appropriate candidates for revascularization, an invasive strategy with intent to proceed with revascularization is indicated to reduce cardiovascular events. This is class 1 recommendation. In patients with non-ST segment elevation acute coronary syndrome and cardiogenic shock who are appropriate candidates for revascularization, emergency revascularization is recommended to reduce the risk of death, and this is again class 1 recommendation. In patients with non-ST segment elevation acute coronary syndrome who have refractory angina or hemodynamic instability or electrical instability, immediate invasive strategy with intention to perform revascularization is indicated to improve outcomes, and this is again class 1 recommendation. In patients with NST-ACS who are initially stabilized and are at high risk of clinical events, it is reasonable to choose early invasive strategy, that is within 24 hours, or delayed invasive strategy to improve outcomes. This is class 2A recommendation. In patients with NST-ACS or non-ST segment elevation acute coronary syndrome who are initially stabilized and are at immediate or low risk of clinical events, invasive strategy with intention to perform revascularization is reasonable before discharge, and this is class 2A recommendation. In patients with NST-ACS who have failed PCI and have ongoing ischemia or hemodynamic compromise or threatened occlusion of an artery with substantial myocardium at risk, emergency CABG is reasonable, and this is class 2A recommendation. In patients with NST-ACS who present in cardiogenic shock, routine multivessel PCI of non-culprit lesion in same sitting should not be performed, and this is class 3 recommendation. Now talking about these guidelines in details. So what we understand is that a routine invasive approach for patients who present to us with NSTMI or unstable angina is associated with improved outcomes. So ideally, all these patients should be subjected to coronary angiography for initial evaluation after presentation. Patients who present to us with NST-ACS or non-ST segment elevation acute coronary syndrome should always undergo risk stratification. Usually, either of the two risk scores are used for risk stratification in patients with NST-ACS, and these include GRACE score and TIMI score. Most of the trials have used GRACE 2.0 risk score. GRACE score of more than 140 indicates that the patient is at high risk of clinical events. The factors which indicate the patient is at high risk of clinical events include GRACE score of more than 140, age more than equal to 75 years, elevated TIMI risk score, and elevated cardiac markers. The benefits of invasive approach is highest in the patients who have elevated biomarkers or such high-risk findings. Coronary angiography in these patients can provide prognostic information such as extent and severity of coronary artery disease, hemodynamics, LV functions, and it can help in deciding whether PCI or CABG would be better for the patients for revascularization. These guidelines specifically state that patients with NST-ACS who have refractory angina, intractable arrhythmia, or hemodynamic instability should ideally undergo immediate angiography. Immediate in context of NST-ACS is within first 2 hours. Patients who present to us with cardiogenic shock should also undergo immediate invasive strategy or immediate coronary angiography. The shock trial supported the strategy of emergency coronary angiography with immediate revascularization in patients with acute myocardial infarction with cardiogenic shock. This trial found that at 6 months, mortality rate is significantly lower in the patients who are randomized to revascularization group compared to the medical therapy. One thing which should always be remembered in patients with cardiogenic shock is the result of culprit shock trial. In the culprit shock trial, approximately 40% patients had NSTEMI or non-ST segment elevation MI. The culprit shock trial found that there was no benefit of immediate multivessel PCI in non-ST segment elevation MI. So it is always better to do infarct-related artery PCI only in patients with cardiogenic shock. Then if we talk about the patients who are at high risk with NST-ACS, and these are the patients who have a Grace score of more than 140, in these patients, early invasive strategy or early coronary angiography is advised. Early angiography in context of NST-ACS means within 24 hours. The benefits of early invasive strategy were demonstrated by 2 trials in acute coronary syndrome, and these include the DIMAX trial and the VERDICT trial. Then there are intermediate or low risk patients. In these patients, timing is not critical. A delayed invasive strategy of doing PCI within 48 to 72 hours of presentation is also acceptable.